Hello and welcome to this Telecom Shop tutorial. Here at the Telecom Shop we offer a wide range of products and services, as well as the facility to design bespoke packages to suit your particular requirements. But more about that later. First we're going to look at how a telephone system actually works. First of all, lines come into the system via a public telephone network, and then the telephone system itself is the equipment which transfers those calls to individual users using their own extensions. So it connects your individual users with the external telephone network. So first we're going to look at how calls actually come into the system, and they come in via lines on the public network, and there are two types of line. First of all, there are analog lines and then there are digital lines. Digital lines are known as Integrated Services Digital Network, or ISDN. There are different types of ISDN line. There's the type which is best designed for small to medium-sized operations, and then there are those which are better for the larger organisation. Those that are designed for the smaller to medium-sized operation are known as ISDN2, and it's ISDN2 and analog that we're going to concentrate on here. With analog, each line coming into the system can carry a call to a single extension. So if you need more than one call to be underway at any one time, you'd need to provide additional lines coming into the system to provide that additional capacity. So let's say we have an organisation that has 3 lines coming into the system. Each of those lines can provide a call on each extension. So let's say there are 3 extensions. If a 4th call tries to come into the system, it won't be able to be answered because all those 3 lines are occupied, so it will receive the engage signal. If you want that call to be able to be answered, you would have to add an additional line to the system. So with the 3 lines coming in, the 3 extensions occupying those lines might not all be performing the same activity, so they might not all be answering a call. But let's say the first line is answering a call, the second one might be making an outgoing call, and the third one might be taking a voicemail message. Whilst that voicemail message is being recorded, it's still occupying that line. Now, it's often the case that some organisations, with maybe only 3 lines coming in, would like more than 3 people to have access to the system, to have their own extension in effect. So let's say that's the case. We've got 3 lines coming into the system and we've got 6 extensions. So if extensions 1, 2 and 3 are occupied, say answering a call, making an outgoing call and taking a voicemail message, if the person on extension 4 wants to make an outgoing call, there are still only 3 lines, so they will have to wait for one of those lines to become free before they can make their outgoing call. But let's say the person on the voicemail message finishes taking that message. The person on line 4 then can make their outgoing call. Now with ISDN2, each line that comes into the system carries 2 channels. And each of those channels can carry a call to an individual extension. So each line can provide 2 calls at a time. So let's take the example where there were 3 lines coming into the system as before, but on each of these you can have 2 separate channels. So if you have 6 extensions in the organisation, each of those can be on a call at the same time. If a 7th call tries to come into the system, of course that will receive the engage signal. And if there's a 7th extension in the organisation, they will not be able to make a call until one of the other calls has finished using the channel. Now there are a number of ways that these systems can treat incoming calls. So let's say somebody calls into the organisation looking for the sales department. Now the first way would be for that call to be directly connected to an operator. The operator would find out which department they wanted to speak to and simply transfer the call to the sales department. So that's the first way. Now the second way would be for there to be an incoming call, say again looking for the sales department, and they would be answered by an automated message. Now that automated message might first of all offer them the option to dial the extension that they want if they know that extension, or to dial say 1 for accounts, 2 for sales, or 3 for service. It's possible that the person might not know exactly which department they're looking for, so often the option will be given to them to hold or dial 4 to speak to an operator if they want to. So that's another way of doing it. The third way is something called direct dial inward, which is also known as DDI. So usually a range of numbers would be published for this. There'd normally be a central number, let's say 86400, and that would connect with an operator, which would give you the option to either have an automated system or to speak to a person to be transferred to the department that you want. Other departments would then have their own extensions. So let's say accounts would be 86401, sales 86402, and service 86403. And this means that when the person is ringing into the organisation, if they ring any of those numbers, they will be directly connected to the department they're looking for without going through an operator or an automated answering system. These telephone systems allow for a lot of different telephony functions, and the first one of those is called call transfer. This is where a call can be moved from one extension within the organisation to another without going through an external line, so there's no cost to that. The next one is known as a hunt group. This is where a call comes into the system looking for a particular department, and they may come in via the operator, by the automated system, or via DDI. But let's say they're looking for the sales department, and within the sales department there might be, let's say, 3 extensions which have all got people operating them, and then there might be a 4th extension which is simply used for voicemail. What the hunt group will do, it will try the first extension, and if that extension is not available, it will automatically try the 2nd extension and the 3rd extension, and so on, and eventually will go to the voicemail system if that's set up. Alternatively, we'll return the caller to the operator so that they can choose another function if they want to, or another extension if they want to try that. So that's known as a hunt group. Another facility is called call forward, and this is where one extension can have their calls transferred to another extension under different circumstances. Those circumstances might be either when the first extension is engaged, when the first extension rings more than a set number of times, or it could be that calls are transferred all the time to a 2nd extension. And that's particularly useful when somebody's either in a meeting or maybe not in the office for the day. Another facility is called call hold, and this is where a call comes into the system looking perhaps for a particular individual. If that person isn't available because they're not at their desk or their phone is engaged, this call could be placed on hold within the system waiting for that person to become available. Another useful facility is the ability to store names and numbers in directories. This means that your most frequently used numbers are easily accessed by a quick press of a button if their number is stored in the directory. Another advantage of the directory is something known as caller ID, and this, if enabled by your system supplier, means that when these people are calling, if their numbers and names are recorded in the directory, they will show up on the screen on your telephone when there is an incoming call from them. Another useful facility which is often available, and if it's enabled by your system, is that of voicemail. So when a call is coming into the system and people are not available to answer the call, you can set up voicemail either on individual extensions, so each extension can have its own voicemail facility to record messages, or the system itself can have its own voicemail facility so that either out of hours or if there's nobody at all available, the system itself can make that recording. So that's a bit about the telephony functions available on these systems. Now we're going to have a quick look at how lines actually come into the system. There are 3 main ways this can happen. First of all, via the public network, secondly via mobile network, or thirdly via the internet, or a combination of these 3 methods or any 2 of those methods can be used. Here at the Telecom Shop we offer a wide range of equipment, including telephones, headsets and telephone systems, and these all are available individually. But we also offer them as part of packages. There are many set packages as shown on our website, but we can also offer the facility to have a bespoke package put together that will suit your particular requirements. So we'd always be happy to talk to you. Any one of our experts would be happy to talk to you, and their details are available on our website. Thank you for watching, and we do hope you found this video informative.